Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing well. In this video I want to speak to you about some curiosities, some questions that I got and so forth. Obviously whoever asked these questions via email, their privacy will be respected. Okay, so the first subject is poltergeist. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. This is an activity that happens in certain places where there is believed to be an entity in that particular zone, a spirit, the dead, blah blah blah. Okay, now the movement of furniture or any kind of activity that you may call as paranormal may happen, yes, because maybe in that particular house someone died in a tragic situation and they are now earthbound, or there is another case in that particular zone may happen paranormal phenomena because in that particular place maybe a person meditated for a long time, or maybe in that particular place there were done rituals which were not closed properly. Okay, and the thing that moves those objects around is actually static energy and may not be an entity, for example. Okay, so if you are meditating, for example, in a room over and over again daily, the first thing that may happen in that particular room, if you don't, have a gesture of closing that meditation, or when I do a meditation or when I do a ritual or when I do a spell casting, I always at the end have a gesture and say a few words of ending that particular activity. So I have an end to it. Okay? If you don't do that, if you don't cast that intent, what may happen is that in that particular room, there will be a build-up of static energy. And in that particular room, you may start to hear knocks, noises. You may hear also as if your electronics do some weird sounds, or you may hear a bit of movement, although nobody is moving anything, something like that. But you, in general, you will start to hear noises. That's the first thing that will happen. And many people start to, oh my god, so scary. And no, that's just the static energy. Calm down a bit, just do a cleansing ritual and it will be done. And another thing that may happen is, again, if you do in that particular room, let's say an evocation or a ritual or whatever, or you are calling elementals and I don't know, and if you don't close that particular activity, ritual, meditation, visualization, whatever, you don't bring it to an end, again, these things may start to happen. You may have electronic malfunction and you don't know why is that, things like that. Okay, now obviously it can happen that in that particular place or region or whatever there is an entity, an earthbound, which is a spirit that doesn't want to let go of that particular place. It's so attached to it. Okay, and may cause different activity in there. So yeah, that's the way paranormal phenomena happens. Okay, and in order to get rid of that, you have to cleanse that zone and also to eliminate fear. That's what you have to do. Okay, enough with that. Moving objects with the mind. I've got this thing over the years many times. I personally don't think that you can do that with the mind alone. What I've observed is that this is done when there is an expansion of aura. And I'm not saying here that you will move, I don't know, a rock or a block or a person, okay? But in certain martial art styles, there is a certain type of breathing that you do, and you pretty much oxygenate very well the blood, and this will start to create an expansion of the aura, okay? And for example, if you are in combat and you have this activated, when you exhale, you have more strength, more power to defeat your enemy, for example, and also to push that person harder. Anyway, but the movement that occurs, or the paranormal movement, or whatever you want to call it, is done when there is an expansion of aura at the same time materializing it somehow. Okay? So yeah. And like I've said, I think in a previous post that I've done on my channel, there is a certain type of breathing or a certain type of martial art system, I think it's called, I don't know for sure, which is called Tridaya. And you have to do very deep breath work in order to accelerate those energies within the body. I've done it as well, but it's pretty hard, and you may end up feeling not so well afterwards. I mean, you have to have a certain type of training, I believe, to be able to handle those breathing exercises. Anyway, so that's about it. So yeah, movement of objects, it's done with that magnetic field around your body, basically. Okay. Another subject that I want to touch upon, that I was asked about, is this. Do you need herbs, crystals, materials in order to do magic, or is mental magic sufficient? I think it all depends on the operator, okay? If you are attracted to that type of magic, that you want to spread on the table things in order to do your magic, and that's your thing, I think it works wonderfully well. This type of magic has been for centuries. It worked for people, so who am I to say that it doesn't work, right? But I am that type of person who wants to be able to do magic if I'm in a room full of people. I want to just sit on the table looking at other people in the eye and be able to do my magic without necessarily needing tools. You know what I'm saying? So I think it depends really on the preference and on what area you want to dive into. But from my point of view, and because I want that type of magic to be more mental and not to rely on tools, I experience so many great manifestations with this type of magic that I really don't feel the need to go and buy a bunch of stuff to do magic. So, but if you decide to, I don't follow Wicca, or I'm not sure what other systems are using many tools, but if you are interested in that type of magic, what I believe is necessary is to follow their rules. If a certain magician tells you that you have to sit in the north for that particular spell to work, I think you have to follow those rules, those correspondence rules. If you are doing only this type of mental magic, visualization magic. You can add elements from that system, but I don't think it's a necessity. But what I found, for example, if you are doing just visualizations, magic with your mind, and that's it, what I found to be very potent is to work with the phases of the moon. I think that working with the phases of the moon is very important for any magician. The rest is up to you. If you want to work with planetary forces, it's up to you to do that. But if certain instructions are given, keep the main components and just observe what is not really necessary for that ritual, so to speak. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoy it. Sorry if I'm always in a rush lately, but I have a tight schedule, man. Anyway, have a good day. Bye bye.